Hey guys, welcome into another portfolio update. For this week, I'm down $949 on my stocks portfolio and down $203 on my crypto portfolio. My house is up 10k to 655k, which is interesting. It seems the Christchurch property market isn't necessarily following the same trend at the same pace that everywhere else is. Which if you look back like a year and a half ago or whenever it was that I was talking about my property and the kind of the what I expected it to do over time, I think I showed some graphs of like where Christchurch property has been previously relative to the rest of the country, and it was kind of thrown out of whack by the earthquakes and stuff. So my theory was that Christchurch would come back more in line with the rest of the country relative to where they used to be, and that seems to be playing out in that after the rest of the country had peaked and we'd seen the biggest growth numbers for home prices, we then had Christchurch continuing those growth numbers. Like for the last huge year of growth we had, Christchurch had the largest growth numbers. It was somewhere around 40% or so. So yeah, really glad that I got that house. Yeah, just following like long-term statistics, like property goes up over time. Properties in this area are generally, I think it was around 70 something percent of the average of this other city, or Auckland or Hamilton or whatever, or the country's average. And then that led me to believe that Christchurch property was undervalued. So I bought in a cheaper area in Christchurch. So I bought in Hornby, and then yeah, I bought for 420,000. August, September 2020, I bought my house. So yeah, been a couple of years now almost, and I bought it for 420. It's now valued at 655,000 as per the evaluation. So it's not fully accurate, but it's about as accurate as you're going to get on a week-to-week estimation basis. Yeah, that puts my net worth at 331k at the moment. So yeah, my house is holding up the portfolio. I mean, it is the largest part of said portfolio. In fact, the debt of the house is larger than my entire net worth. My loan on the house is 373,000. So yeah, it leaves the equity at 200 and something, can't even remember. Yeah. As you can see, I'm down massively on my stocks, $20,410. It's fairly outrageous. That's a lot of money for me. So at the highest, I was up 22 and a bit $1,000. So now that I'm down 20,400, it's like $42,000 that I'm down, from an adjusted value of $82,000. So I'm down now over 50%. If we open up the calculator, 82,000. Sorry. We are now down to. Oh, sorry, did that math the wrong way around. Yeah, so we're down to 48% of what we had at the highest point. So yeah, I mean that was like one day, or 1 week that I had that, and it was an adjusted value anyway, so I hadn't actually got that money in. Obviously I've been averaging in over time, but either way, from how much I was up, like I have gone down 50%. Which is pretty crazy. And yeah, from my initial investment, down 20,000, used to be up 22,000. So pretty crazy swing. The market is doing some hectic stuff at the moment. But honestly, I don't care. I'm going to keep buying stocks. It's like realistically long term, it's probably a good thing for a couple of reasons, like the learning aspects of like this is how crazy the stock market can be. So you really have to abide by those rules of like keeping a certain amount of cash and only putting that cash in when you reach certain thresholds so you don't run out of money like I currently have. So I haven't put any money in this week because I just don't have enough money to put in. Yeah, so everything kind of seems to kind of hit the fan at the same time, like mortgage rates rising, people having like higher unemployment, cost of stuff going up, stocks going down, crypto going down, property going down, like all that stuff sort of seems to hit at the same time in these sort of scenarios. So yeah, when we're in a bullish sort of environment, it's hard to think like, oh, I should keep 40% cash reserves or something. Not saying you should keep 40%, but the people who did keep 40% cash reserves are probably doing a lot better off right now than I am. But you know, having come into the market in like April 2020, I've seen a lot of bullishness, a lot of just everything going up, and people who are 100% in the market were making the most money. There were like people who are absolute idiots making like hundreds of thousands of dollars just because they, you know, bet all their money on one stock and it went insane, or even one cryptocurrency. I met people who have made hundreds of thousands on, well, over 100,000 on Dogecoin. So yeah, it's a pretty hectic environment then. Not quite so much like that anymore. Anyway, we'll have a look at the portfolio here. We'll see that my best performing stock is only down 37%. I remember when I first bought Honest, it wasn't even that long ago, and I was like, well, as soon as I'm buying it after it's down so much in terms of percentage, surely I can't go down too much further. But then, you know, like, just goes down and down. I can't even remember what I first bought at. It might have been like $6, or yeah, it must have been around $6. Instead of put me down 40%, but then I have averaged down a little bit, and then yeah, put me at an overall percentage of 37. So yeah, not very good. And yeah, that's the best performing stock. And if we look over in my Hatch portfolio, my best performing stock is down 48%, which is insane. But that's mainly because I average down in this account over here. But even then, like Corsair Gaming still down 36%. Yeah, everything's getting pretty well destroyed at the moment. And I do not currently have the cash supplies to continue to average down. Hopefully, if by my next payday in like a week and a half, if the stock market's still down, or like hopefully at these levels or below even, I'll chuck another grand in. But yeah, struggling to get the cash in order to buy the dip when the dip has dipped and dipped and dipped and kept dipping. So yeah, having a look at what has kind of transpired this week. The indexes aren't even down very far. I mean, neither's my portfolio really relative to like last week. Down like $1,000. Last week I was down like $3,000 or something. I don't know, it was a lot worse last week. But yeah, down 1.5% on the NASDAQ. But like it really was quite a shift in the week. The first half, you know, we're up 5%, and then on Wednesday, Fed meeting and whatnot. Well, the Fed meeting was initially bullish, but then I don't know, it decided to flip the other way, and then down 6% to end of Friday. So yeah, bit of a flip-flop in the market here, and a lot of bearishness from there across all the indexes, S&P, Russell, and NASDAQ. And you can see it pretty much like in most stocks, except for like Planet 13. Planet 13 just cruised along, doing whatever it was doing. But yeah, Tattooed Chef, starting like largest positions first, down like basically nothing. Tattooed Chef. Corsair was up 5%, but then the rest of the stocks, yeah, 8.67% down. Palantir, 2.2% down on Smile Direct Club. Honest down 7%. Planet 13 up 1.4%. Fiverr down almost 10%. Coinbase 8.25% down. And yeah, pretty much everything was just getting ruined this week. Well, everything other than my two largest positions, which, you know, is kind of nice to have the two largest positions kind of staying stable this time. We can see here, so these numbers are from the 6th of May, so yesterday, presumably after market close. And you can see we've gone even lower on the forward PE graph for the small caps. The S&P 600 small caps, we're just like absolutely ridiculously low now. Like, this graph does not get that low very often. It's happened, you know, a few times in the past couple of decades, but it's not very common. The mid caps, you can see there, they're still trading quite cheap. Definitely not in line with where they usually trade. Quite far down from that. And yeah, so large caps are the exception. They're still trading about in line or just below where they usually do, which is like a definite improvement from, you know, where we were up here just a little while back. We were trading extremely richly. We're now back down into a range that, like, it has been in previously over the last few years, but wouldn't really call it fairly valued yet. But then, yeah, that obviously depends on the stocks within that we're talking about and whatnot. Some of the stocks in there will still be a good deal, but you're more likely to find a good deal in the S&P 600 small caps. Well, at least I believe that's where the best deals are at the moment. So, this is going to be an interesting week coming up in the market this week. 7 of my stocks, which if we count them up here, is half of them, excluding these 3 because I don't have positions in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are reporting earnings this week. Palantir and Tattooed Chef are the biggest ones because that's my third largest and second largest positions. Workhorse, smallest position. Coinbase, Matterport, Beyond Meat, and Honest. Yeah, this is going to be a big week for me. We could see huge losses or huge gains this following week, and I have no idea which. I mean, based on the market's trend at the moment, we could say that we're expecting red, but then the lower we go on the red side, realistically, the less downside we have. Like, if you know, theoreticize a number, like the lowest that the S&P 500 would go, like, when we look back on this retrospectively, we will know how long or how low the S&P 500 or whatever got. And, like, given where we are now relative to where we are here, we know we have less downside risk than we did back here because we're further down. So we're closer to the bottom than we were there. Yeah, so, I mean, the closer we get, the less risk we're taking. It just feels like it's riskier because the market keeps going down. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all for stocks. Hopefully, you know, those earnings do good. Yeah, crypto seems to be getting destroyed. Just keeps going down, like, pretty consistently. Had a couple of upticks, but then, like, continued back on the trend down. Ethereum's the main one that I worry about because that's the coin that I'm mining. But, I mean, if the coin price drops enough and people stop mining, it means I get more profits. So that's also a positive, but only if it actually follows. The hash rate hasn't been following too much, really. It should follow more than it has been anyway. But yeah, I have another channel for crypto mining, so I won't talk about crypto too much in here. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for this week's portfolio update. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel, and have a great day. See you all next week. See ya.